All right, thank you, everyone. Please be seated. All right, the state may call its next witness.
The state calls Detective Steve Guth.
All right, Detective, please make your way to the witness stand. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
All right, got a detective now.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. When you are seated, if you would please state your first and last names for the record and spell both.
Detective Stephen Guth, S-T-E-V-E-N, G-U-T-H.
I'm digging a white tie, man.
Go ahead, your witness.
You got
Thank
the
you.
clip
Detective,
a little.
what do you do for a living?
I'm a detective for the City of Waukesha Police Department.
How long have you worked for the police department?
20 years.
How long as a detective?
7 years.
Okay. Were you working as a detective on November 22nd of 2021?
Yes, I was.
On that date, did you meet with a person by the name of Erica Patterson?
Yes, I did.
What was the purpose of meeting with Miss Patterson?
I wanted to clarify her statement to me regarding a domestic related incident that had occurred.
And as part of that clarification, did you get into a squad car with Miss Patterson?
I did.
And what was the point of doing that?
I wanted to ride in the car with her since she was unfamiliar with the geography of the city, and so that she could point out to me specific directions on where she went with Mr. Brooks.
Could we have Exhibit 1 up on the screen for the jury, please, and for the witness?
Permission to publish Exhibit 1. Granted, I'll go over here for a moment. It's the rear laptop, correct?
Yep. Laptop?
And you said publish, right?
Yes, please.
All right. Just confirm that that's what you want?
It is.
All right, then permission to publish is granted.
Can we zoom in on the top right corner of this exhibit? Okay, where did you first, or where did this journey with Miss Phillips, or Patterson, excuse me, Miss Patterson begin?
Once I picked her up, we moved to Frame Park, and we parked in the area that's close to where that star is, where it says Frame Park.
In the top right corner?
Correct.
Okay, and where did you go from there?
From there, we traveled on Baxter. So the way that the frame park is here, can I touch the screen?
Do we have the ability to let the witness touch and
Yes.
mark?
Just let us know at what points we'll capture it, and then we can also print it at another location and if need be.
So we met generally in that area that's highlighted now in yellow. We traveled in this direction on Baxter.
Okay, and then what?
As we continued down Baxter, we got to this street called Buckley, and then from Buckley, we made a right turn and ended up on Carina.
Let's go back up.
Yeah, don't
And
move the
let's-
screen until we can capture it.
Let's capture there. And we probably need to,
Second, if you saw the little number counting the percentage, that means it's done capturing it once it stops.
okay. Can we clear that now?
Yes.
And let's zoom out.
We'll get that printed and we'll have that marked as 1A.
Now, from where you left off there after you made that right turn onto Buckley, can you draw on the screen where you went next?
Yeah, so again on Buckley, we did travel down Buckley to Carina. And then on Carina, we made a left turn, traveling along the river till we reached Barstow. And then from Barstow, we made a right turn, traveling up northwest Barstow, all the way to the Barstow Hill, where it's highlighted in green there, up
And that's
to
the gas station she
Barstow
was
Hill,
referring to.
and it's going to come off the map, but all the way up to Bidwell.
Okay. And did she indicate at what point you should turn around?
At Bidwell and Northwest Barstow.
Did she indicate where she went with Mr. Brooks after that?
Well, she jumped out of the car at Bidwell and Northwest Barstow.
And what happened, according to Ms. Patterson, at that point?
At that point, she started making her way back the same path, back to Frame Park. Again, because she was unfamiliar with the geography, she just used the same route that she just went.
Okay. Did she at any point mention a gas station on that route?
Yes, she did.
Do you see that gas station depicted on Exhibit 1?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us where it is?
Yes, it's the mobile gas station highlighted with a star, and I'll circle it in that area.
Do we have a screen capture here?
Yes. The screen capture has been done. When we get that color print brought to the courtroom, that will be 1B.
Okay. And this map is you're familiar with Waukesha, right?
Yes.
This is an accurate map of Waukesha.
Yes, it is.
And the markings that you've put on the screen here, that's an accurate representation of the route you took with Ms. Patterson on November 22nd?
Yes, it is.
Move Exhibits 1A and 1B into evidence.
Any objection?
Yes.
The objection noted, it's overruled. Exhibits 1A and 1B are received by the court.
That's all I have for this witness.
Short,
Mr. Brooks, do you have any
short and to the
questions
point.
for this witness?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Oh man, I feel like I've had enough of his questions
Detective.
for the day.
Good morning, Detective Guth.
Good morning.
You've been in law enforcement for over 20 years. Would that be fair to say?
Correct.
At any time during your over 20 years of service, have you ever had any interaction with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Sustained.
Dude, this sheriff right here looks like if he says one wrong word, it is over with. Like, it is really over. I know I keep saying want to wrap up in one of these. He looks like it's really over. I'm sorry. I'm talking all over it.
Can you state for the record if the plaintiff is in court today?
Objection.
Sustained.
What's up with him asking this question?
Have you ever seen the plaintiff?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you even know of the plaintiff?
Objection.
Sustained.
He did this in the last video too.
Ever spoken to the plaintiff?
Objection.
On what grounds?
Sustained.
On what grounds?
It's sustained. Next question.
May I ask what grounds, Your Honor?
It's sustained,
Brooks, do you
so
have
move
another
on.
Question.
I do. I was just trying to follow the rules that you set by saying that an objection has to have a basis. So I'm
Unless
just-
it's self-evident to the court. It's sustained. Next question.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
Do you have another question? Otherwise, under 906.11, I will give the state an opportunity.
Go ahead,
to
cut him off.
Redirect.
Go ahead, cut him off.
Yes, I do have.
Please.
Go ahead.
Were at any time did Erica Patterson report any domestic incident to you?
Yes.
Do you remember
I'm glad he understood what the
dates
question
that
was.
she
'Cause I did.
or date?
Yes.
At any time during that report, did you find her to be untruthful?
How would he know she's untruthful? What
No.
is he? She's just giving her Oh, he's talking about. Oh, so he's still talking about based on that paper he was reading off of something about saying she's being untruthful. But like, once again, what do these questions have to do with any of this? You know? But I'm done trying to turn this stuff logical.
I'm reading from the narrative of
This man just doing what he does.
and specifically the part where it says, what I learned from Erica Patterson was that when I spoke to her on a previous evening with Detective Barrett, she was not completely forthright with all of the information she had given. Would that be fair to say?
Correct.
So would it also be fair to say that from the report that you wrote, that you're acknowledging that there was some untruth in the report reported to you?
No, that's incorrect.
Okay, so he's misreading it. He thinks that him saying that she was not forthright means that she was lying, when all he's saying is she didn't give him all of the details initially. So she didn't tell him everything that day. She told him after the fact. But he thinks that forthright, I guess, means lying. So
You did make this report, correct?
Correct.
So you did report that what you had learned from Erica Patterson was that when I spoke to her, now these are your words, when I spoke to her on the previous evening with Detective Barrett, she was not completely forthright. You said what you learned was that she was not completely forthright. So is it fair to say that there was some untruth to the report?
No.
he really thought he was on to
So why
something.
would that be in the report?
For various reasons. The most common reason is that when domestic victims report crimes that happen to them, a lot of times they're very afraid of their abuser, and so they don't always give all details, because if they do give all details about what happened to them, they feel like they might have something happen to them in a future date from that same abuser.
So would it be fair to say that you could have just stated what you just said in your report?
I did state that.
That's the same thing.
Would it have? Is it fair to say?
It's a
that
condensed version of what he was saying.
obviously you've been in law enforcement for a very long time.
Is that a question?
Would it be fair to say
The judge.
it could have been reported in the way that you just stated, instead of stating in your report that there was untruthfulness?
I didn't state untruthfulness in my report. If you further read into the report, I state what I just stated.
So would it be fair to say, though, that the information wasn't completely forthright?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, would it be fair to say that there was in fact only one incident?
No.
And would you be basing that, to the best of your knowledge, would you be basing that answer, the last answer, on hearsay?
No.
So you would be basing your answer on eyewitness account
I'll check that relevance for
grounds?
I'm going to sustain the objection. Next question, or you can rephrase it.
Would it be fair I don't know how I can rephrase that without asking it the same way, Your Honor.
Because you shouldn't ask it.
Give me a second, if I may.
See, he's trying to have another moment with the judge where, like, she's playful, helping him out and stuff like that. Like, he wants that kind of acceptance right now so bad.
At any time during your report or time spent with Miss Patterson, did she state where she may have been on November 20th of 2021?
Yes.
Do you recall what that was? What she said?
I recall what she said, yes.
To the best of your knowledge, do you believe that she was being truthful?
Yes.
I'm just going to advise the jury that ultimately it's the jury's determination of credibility that matters. And you heard me read an instruction yesterday. That's obviously the instruction you'll follow ultimately in the jury room.
To the best of your knowledge, do you recall any injuries on the first reported incident?
Yes.
Do you recall what they were?
Yes.
And do you recall any injury on the reported incident from the day of the parade?
Yes.
Do you remember what they were?
Yes.
Can you state on the record what they were?
On which day?
The 20th.
Her mouth was injured due to being slapped in the mouth.
I still don't understand these questions. Like, it's like I said last time, like,
for any reason why that would not be in the report?
It is.
these questions just make him look worse. I don't know why he thinks it's helping him in any way. But he's just building a stronger case for the prosecution, in my opinion. Just from hearing this
To the
stuff.
best of your knowledge, can you say where in the report that would be? Because I don't see it in the report that I have here before me.
Attorney needs help.
Are you asking me which report states that she was injured in the mouth? Are you asking if it was reported to me that she was injured in the mouth?
No, I'm not. I'm asking you, why is there no injuries reported for that incident, alleged incident?
It was reported to me that she was injured in the mouth by being slapped on the 20th.
Are you aware that that was not testified to?
No.
Hold on.
What grounds would that be hearsay? Your
Mr.
Honor?
Brooks, it's up for the jury to determine the truthfulness of anything that's said or testified to in court.
Okay.
He was not present for any other testimony, so it would not be proper for him to comment on
Make
that.
sure I'm recording the screen. Yep, we good.
Next question.
Would it be fair to say that the reported alleged incident from the 20th is very, very vague in your report? Would that be fair to say? And by vague, I mean there's literally 3 sentences.
I don't have the report in front of me. If you're
I have it in
referring
front
to
of me.
vagueness, that's why I went back on the 22nd to interview her again to clarify information.
So on the 22nd, And this is your report I'm reading from. It says, due to the influx of information, we were unable to make sense of all the information. Would that be fair to say?
Correct.
So it would be also fair to say that that would basically state that there were some things you weren't sure about.
Yes.
I like how, and when I say I like how, I mean, it's hilarious to me how his only setup for a question is, would it be fair to say this, that, and that? Like, I'm pretty sure as an attorney, there are a lot of different ways you can pose a question to a witness, but it's hilarious to me that every single question he has is basically, would it be fair to say that, whatever, like he doesn't even ask it in any other way, or he doesn't have like a follow-up to it to get them to expand on anything. That's hilarious.
You also say in your report that you had learned that there were two other individuals that may have been involved in the incident. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Do you remember the names of the two individuals?
Yes.
Would you state on the record what the names of the other two individuals were?
Corey Runkle, and the other individual's first name is Nick. I don't remember his last name.
Did Corey Runkle in any way report anything about the incident to you?
Not
Which incident? Hold on. Which incident are we talking about?
From November the 21st of 2021.
Thank you. With that clarification, are you able to answer?
not to me directly.
Do you recall if you had learned of any information about what Corey Runkle might have said to any other law enforcement?
Yes.
Do you recall what that was?
Yes.
Would you like to state on the record what that was that you may have learned?
I learned that she was with Erica Patterson on the 21st, on November 21st, 2021, when Erica Patterson was involved with a domestic incident. She responded to help her friend.
Do you recall of learning if Corey Runkle was with Erica Patterson on November 20th of 2021?
I don't think Corey Runkle was with Erica Patterson on the 20th.
You stated in the report that you were with Erica Patterson to kind of basically you took her on a drive to pretty much retrace her steps. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
At any time, did any incident about November the 20th of 2021 come into your conversations with Erica Patterson?
You're talking about during the drive.
During the drive. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No, I just want to make sure that the question's clear. Go ahead.
I believe we did talk about it, both incidents from the 20th and the 21st.
Do you recall what was said?
Yes.
Do you recall putting that into your report?
I recorded our conversation. I don't know if I put every detail of our whole recording in that report. In fact, I know I didn't. So not every detail from our recorded conversation is in that report. The report is a summary.
For any reason to your knowledge why would details of an incident not be reported accurately?
He just said.
It's also vague. Sustained.
He just said it's a
To the
summary.
best of your knowledge, why is that conversation that was supposedly had not in your report at all?
Objection. This states the evidence.
Sustained.
It's a summary.
Just 1 second. Sorry, Your Honor, I got tons of paperwork. Just 1 second.
He wants a friend so bad when stuff gets awkward. When it's an awkward silence or something, he wants somebody to be his friend. It's like, dude, no.
And you stated that you interviewed Ms. Patterson on multiple days. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And on both of those times that you interviewed Ms. Patterson, did the reporting ever deviate?
Mr. Brooks, under 906.11. You
Please.
need to clarify your question. It's ambiguous.
Man, I was hoping she was going to say, we're going to go ahead cut you off now, and the witness can leave. Oh, my
confusing.
goodness.
What I'm getting
That would have
at
made my
question,
day.
Did what Ms. Patterson said change from interview to interview?
No.
So at any time during your interview, did you learn less or learn more?
I learned more in my second interview.
So it would be fair to say that the information you learned changed. Would that be fair to say?
Objection. Argumentative.
Overruled. He may answer.
It did not change. I just learned more information.
More information about what alleged incident? The 20th, the 21st?
Both, honestly.
I'm
Both.
sorry.
Both, honestly.
So, would it be fair to say was it 2 interviews that you did or 3?
2.
So both interviews, you continued to learn things that you didn't know from the previous interview.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
Would it be fair to say that
Why is he asking? See, he's getting stuck again. He's back in the spiral, asking the same stuff.
well, let me back up from that. Would it be fair to say that just 1 second, Your Honor. Trying to find the list there. Detective Goose report, if I may. To the best of your knowledge, did Erica Patterson give any report to any other law enforcement that you were aware of?
Another question he
No.
already asked. Big surprise.
So to the best of your knowledge, you were the only detective that interviewed Ms. Patterson?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
To the best of your knowledge, were you the only one that interviewed Ms. Patterson?
Same objection.
Sustained.
At any time, did you learn anything about the alleged incidents that Ms. Patterson claimed from any other law enforcement?
Objection. Same reason.
Sustained.
At any time were you, or at any time did you view the video footage from White Rock School?
Yes.
Do you remember what you saw in those videos?
Yes.
You stayed on the record what you saw?
Under 90611, I'm going to advise the witness not to answer. That video is in evidence. It will speak for itself. And his understanding of what's in there, at least at this point, is not relevant.
Can you say what was the date of the video that you saw?
November 21st, 2021.
Did you see any video from the other alleged incident from November 20th?
I'll object. I don't see the relevance to anything that happened on the 20th.
Sustained.
Do you know if there might have been any video from the alleged incident on November 20th?
Same objection.
Sustained.
Grounds.
It's not relevant.
May I ask how is it not
Next
relevant?
question. There's not a charge related to the 20th, sir. It's not relevant. I've given you leeway to ask questions at this point under 90611. Move on.
Just so I'm clear, you have never had any interaction with the plaintiff.
Objection.
Sustained.
You've never seen the
NT.
plaintiff.
Objection.
Sustained.
Never spoken to the plaintiff.
Objection.
Sustained.
Never seen. Do you see the plaintiff in court today?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you know if there is a plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Sustained.
So when he starts asking us stuff, is that connected? And look, the prosecution, they're trying not to laugh here, but is that related to his little sovereign citizen thing about him not consenting to being called Darrell Brooks? Like I'm starting to kind of connect that a little bit. I think that's what he's trying to do when he asks that.
Have you had any prior knowledge of the plaintiff?
But once again, let me know, because y'all have been clearing up a lot of stuff for me.
Would it be fair to say that you do not know of any plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Sustained.
On grounds? What grounds?
Under 90611, I'm declaring the cross-examination now closed. Do you have any redirect for this witness?
Briefly, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Detective, when you reported
Thank
that Erica Patterson had been less than completely forthright with you, what did she leave out the first time you spoke with her?
She left out the incident that happened to her on November 21st, 2021.
The incident where she accused Mr. Brooks of punching her?
Correct.
Okay. You testified on cross-examination that in your general experience, victims of domestic violence do not report 100% of the details all the time.
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Grounds.
He hasn't asked a question yet.
Grounds for the...
He can ask his question. This witness testified about his experience based on a question you asked, so the redirect is appropriate.
May I just say that every situation is different, Your Honor? Which
You're
we do know
attempting to
that.
testify, so no, you may not say that. The jury will strike that comment made by Mr. Brooks. You'll have an opportunity, if you so choose, to testify at a later point in time in this trial. The state may ask its question.
Thank you. Did Erica Patterson provide to you a specific reason for her situation, why she was not 100% forthright with you?
Yes.
What was that reason?
She was
So mad.
extremely afraid of Mr. Brooks.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, thank you. Detective, you may step down. Any reason to keep this witness under subpoena from the state?
Not from the state.
Anything from Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
All right, I'll take that up later and reserve that until I can review that with the parties. All right, this would be an excellent opportunity to take a mid-morning break. It's 10:49, about 15 minutes. All rise for the jury. We are in recess. Good idea. Things before we bring the jury back out, so we are on the record. Mr. Brooks, I was provided with information that your test result was hand-delivered to you, folded. Did you receive that?
I was made aware of my I didn't look at it yet, so.
Do you have it with you?
It is. It's in my paperwork somewhere.
All right, I need you to locate it and open it up, please.
May I ask the reason why that would be?
Mr. Brooks, you raised this issue yourself, and I'd like to know the result.
I would too, but I was kind of in the middle of preparing for my defense, so I.
Mr. Brooks, find the piece of paper and open it up and read it, please.
Your Honor, I don't consent.
Is
to
he
being
really
talked to
playing
in
this
that
little
fashion.
game, bro?
Your lack of consent is noted for the record. Please find the piece of paper, open it up, and please read
He
it.
really
I will
playing
not
this little
consent to that,
game.
Your Honor. Or do I agree to that, Your Honor? I do not.
Mr. Brooks, then I'm going to advise the Sheriff's Department to find the piece of paper and hand it to me so that I can read it.
There you go.
Those are your two options.
What would be the basis for that, Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, this is an issue that you raised, and I need to bring it to finality.
Bro, this is the most childish thing. Like, I really feel like this might be one of the most childish tactics I've seen from him yet. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff from him, but this is definitely up there. Like, he's refusing to read the test results. That is the craziest thing.
And know what the test result is.
Okay, with all due respect, it was a motion that I raised.
All right,
where-
I'm going to clear the courtroom. We're going to go off the record, and we're going to find that piece of paper, and I'm going to address it
That
when
is
that's
so
done.
silly, bro. He's really doing this.
Excuse everyone from the courtroom, take a recess so that the test result could be obtained, and if necessary, by reasonable force. It's my understanding there was some type of situation or altercation between Mr. Brooks and the deputies. Ultimately, though, I think he was taken into the bullpen. He was brought back out, but it was very clear to me that he was upset. I think understandably so, but I needed to make a record of what was being done, including
not
that I have
understandable why
obtained
he's
the
upset.
test result, so there's an accurate record in this case related to the motion that was raised previously by Mr. Brooks. I want Mr. Brooks to know that I am not removing him from when the jurors are brought back in. It was just simply because he was upset. He was very loud when I walked into the courtroom before going on.
Look at this child in timeout that's staring at the corner. This look like when you put a kid in the corner, tell him stare at the wall. And he's actually assuming the position, just staring at a spot.
Back on the record, he was yelling about his constitutional rights being violated. I advised him that if there was any type of use of force that he wanted to complain about, he could certainly do that through the proper channels with the Sheriff's Department, but just given his state of agitation and my need to make a record, I had him taken to the other courtroom. He is currently muted. I do not intend to go forward with additional testimony. Ultimately, I'm going to take an early lunch break because of this, but I will make a record of the following. I have the result. I am going to scan it, have my clerk scan it. It will be filed as confidential, though. It won't be available to the public, but it's there for appellate purposes, but I can confirm that the test result for COVID-19 was negative. And again, I required the Sheriff's Department to provide that result to me, and it was, and it will remain under seal. I realize I'm disclosing that result, but I feel obligated to do that given the motion that was raised 2 days ago by Mr. Brooks. Again, I do
He's so mad that
intend to
tech
take
didn't work.
an early lunch, so that will hopefully give Mr. Brooks an opportunity, if he so chooses, to review the result himself. It was put in front of him. I did see that he either shoved it or tossed it or just dismissed it. It looked like it went on the floor when it was put in front of him, but we'll certainly have the deputies give that to him again during the recess for lunch.
And him not reading documents and refusing documents and stuff helped even more to get him locked up.
Mr. Brooks will also be
he
given
can
the
throw his little
opportunity to
tantrums.
change into street clothes if
I feel
he
bad for
so
the people that work
chooses.
here, but
when we come back, he will be in
he got himself
this
locked up, so
courtroom.
there you go.
I agree. Mr. Brooks was making a couple of statements about how he was abiding by the rules and being respectful, things of that nature. I agree. He's done an excellent job while in court here this morning. He's been respectful of the rules. He made some early on. I let him, make his objections or lack of consent. He did that respectfully. When I said I was moving on, he generally was able to do that. We were able to get through 2 witnesses. He was able to follow along, ask cogent, clear, responsive, and articulate objections.
Is he
was
nodding
able
his
to
head like, yeah, I
elicit,
did.
Information
I was respectful.
from the witnesses regarding either their memory, their credibility, and other things. Generally speaking, he's been able to competently represent himself and provide, again,
no way he's
solid
crying.
cross-examination this morning. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to hopefully
Man,
settle
that is
back
so
in and to
wild,
come
man.
back here when we return from lunch.
Bro, this dude having a mental breakdown.
So with that,
that's messed up, man.
We are in recess. Probably come back at 1 o'clock, since it's only 11:30, and we'll take the full 90 minutes for lunch today.
Yo, that's like a
thank you.
legitimate little kid, man. That's some scary stuff. Like he really is. Like this man's brain never developed past being like 8 years old. Like he crying from being in timeout right now. Man.
Everyone.
Thank you.
All right, we are. Oh, let's get all of our audio on.
Hey, we back to the second part
All right,
of
we are back on the record.
Day
It is
2.
1:07.
That was wild. He had a
PM.
tantrum, man.
Appearances are as they were previously.
And now look at him. He got his head down like a defeated little kid, man.
Mr. Brooks is in the courtroom. He is in jail attire, as that is his choice. And I don't know if there's anything the state wants to address at this point before we continue with testimony.
No,
Just
thank
wanna
you.
check. All right, Mr. Brooks, anything you want to address at this point? It's hard for me to see his head. He's bent over, but I thought I saw him shaking his head. No, but I'll ask one more time. Mr. Brooks, anything you want me to address before the jurors are brought out to continue with testimony from witnesses?
Just a little emotional right now.
All right.
In my opinion, they shouldn't have even brought him back in. You know, They shouldn't have even brought him back in. Just continue the case
I
without.
presume the state has a witness available.
She got a smile on her face. He's in here having mental breakdowns, bouncing off the walls and whatnot. Like, man, keep him in there. Let's just wrap this up. This man is all the way guilty. But the judge is thorough, though. She is extremely thorough about this. Like, she's leaving no wiggle room for this dude.
The jury is headed out, but why don't you hold off on that, and at the next appropriate time when they're not on their way in, I can address whatever it is. Or if you want to pass me a note, you can do that as well.
I'm sorry. I just imagine that he wrote on the piece of paper, "Is that a judicial determination?" Something stupid like that. Just one of them lines he keep dropping. It's like even through the tears and through the through the tears and everything, he's still writing about judicial determinations and whatnot. But I do just really quick want to say, you know, mental health is important and stuff. I'm not here laughing at him in a sense where it's like, because I do think something's wrong with him. You know, I said that in one of my other videos. I think something is off with this dude. And, you know, that part's not funny. But this dude, he consciously did something that's very sick. And that's the part where it's like, I can't just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm digging myself into a hole. What I'm basically saying is, I would never laugh at anybody's mental health problems or anything. I'm guessing he wrote something pretty funny on that paper because she cracked a smile.
All right, thank you, everyone. Please be seated. And good afternoon to our jury. State may call its next witness.
Because
Thank
all
you,
of
Your
us
Honor.
have
The
had.
state calls Officer Jeremy Phillips.
I'm sorry, I just want to finish that point. All of us, to some degree, have had battles with mental health. And, you know, for that reason, I would never make fun of that kind of thing. Shoot, a lot of you have shared your experiences with me, and I've even shared some of my own on this channel. So, yeah, I just wanted to briefly
All right, good afternoon, officer. If you would please make
put a
your way
period
to the
on
witness
that
stand, which
point.
is to my right. When you get there, please remain standing, raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're
Yo,
about
this
to give
that.
is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you, sir. Please be seated.
I remember this dude.
First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
My first name is Jeremy, spelled Jeremy. My last name is Phillips, Phillips.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. How are you employed, sir?
I'm employed with the City of Waukesha Police Department.
And how long have you worked in law enforcement?
Yo, am I tripping right now? This is day 2? So did I screw up on something? So wait, when I was reacting to day 1, was I actually reacting to like day 2 stuff? If I did, then that is insane. Did I blend both of those
I've been
days
in
together?
law enforcement for a total of 14 years next month.
All with the city of Waukesha?
I have about 5 months with the City of Dodgeville Police Department in Wisconsin. The rest has been with the City of Waukesha.
All right. Sir, I'd like to direct your attention to the date of November 21 of 2021, please. Were you working that afternoon?
I was working that afternoon, yes.
What was your duty or assignment?
I was assigned a normal patrol beat, squad area 216 with the City of Waukesha on a 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. shift.
Were you aware there was a parade taking place in downtown Waukesha that afternoon?
I was aware that there was a Christmas parade downtown Waukesha.
Were you directly assigned to work the parade?
I was not assigned to work the parade.
You said you were one of the officers that was just involved in general patrol of the city that afternoon.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. I'd like to direct your attention to time around 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the afternoon. Do you recall getting dispatched to Frame Park?
I do recall being dispatched there, yes.
Do you know the exact time you were dispatched?
I believe it was 4:52 p.m. approximately there.
Okay. And where is Frame Park located?
Frame Park is rather large, but it's generally located in the downtown area off of White Rock Avenue and Baxter Avenue.
What was the nature of the complaint you were responding to?
I received a complaint to respond in emergency fashion, which means light and siren, for subjects fighting in the park with a knife allegedly involved.
Where were you coming from?
You know what? I think I've seen a clip of this already. I think that's what I'm referring to. Because, like, I've seen this dude before. But I think what it is that I did see a clip of, it was something called, like, something about Darrell getting upset that he keeps looking at the jury as he talks. I don't know if I reacted to it on the channel. The stuff is getting like blurred together at this point.
I was in the patrol area of East Moreland, roughly at East Main Street at the time, and that's where I was responding from.
Like, if I've seen something, I'm gonna let you guys know. I don't want to keep that a secret.
Main Street,
still
where I was
having a mental
responding from,
breakdown.
was not, no.
Okay. I guess let me ask a better question. Were you able to travel along Main Street to get to Frame Park? From where you were located to get to where you needed to go, did you travel on Main Street?
I did not travel on Main Street to get to Frame Park.
Okay. And which direction did you come in from then?
I came in on East Moreland, westbound, to White Rock Avenue, westbound.
And as you approached the area, could you see individuals associated with the parade?
Yes, I could, as I neared the vicinity.
What do you remember seeing?
As I neared the vicinity of White Rock Avenue at Baxter, directly in front of me appeared to be a unmarked patrol vehicle, silver in color, which was blocking the roadway at White Rock Avenue and Hartwell Avenue. And I believe off to the side, I could also see a marked patrol vehicle.
Could you see any floats or people participating in the parade?
At that particular time, as I arrived in the vicinity, I did not. I just saw the side of a squad car with emergency lights activated. It wasn't until a little while later I saw that there were floats and such on the other side of that patrol vehicle.
The silver colored SUV with lights, red and blue lights activated, do you know whose squad car that was?
That belonged to Sergeant Dave Warner.
Where did you go?
When I arrived to the area, initial dispatch information stated that this alleged fight involving a knife was somewhere in the vicinity of the Schutze building where the boat ramp was. Based on my training and experience of that vicinity, I know that the boat rental checkout is on the back side of the Schutze building, so that's the initial area I responded to and where my attention was drawn to.
This time, Your Honor, I'm going to ask
This
your
dude is
permission to
sharp,
put up Exhibit
man.
1, which is the map of the area.
Sharp
we've
as
been
a
working
tack,
off of.
bro.
Permission granted.
You hear how flawlessly he answers these questions? Like, it's amazing.
Do you see that item in front of you, Officer Phillips, on the screen?
I do now.
Okay.
Do you want, oh, it needs to be public. Hold on. Thank you. Sure.
So that is a touch screen in front of you. If you want to draw or circle or anything like that, you may, or you can just simply talk. I'd like you to identify for us where you came in to the area.
Well, it's not really blowing up, so
No, if you want it blown up, we can blow it up from our table. Sorry. We'll zoom in.
if you wouldn't mind, where it says Frame Park in the upper right-hand corner, that would be, looks like the vicinity that I probably responded to. I would need to see a bigger image.
Is that good?
That will suffice.
Okay.
So I responded in a direction on White Rock Avenue, coming this way. This now is Baxter Avenue, which I would have made a right-hand turn onto. And right about in this parking lot area is where the Shootsy building exists. And then there would be a boardwalk and some trails behind that where the boat ramp would be.
Okay. And you drove in that area first, right?
Correct.
What were you looking for?
At that time, I was looking for anybody suspicious that may be involved in a fight, somebody carrying a weapon, somebody that might have been battered and bruised or obviously injured or in need of help.
Okay. Did you see anybody?
I did not.
Did you drive around a little bit?
I drove around in the parking lot of the Shootsy building. There was another officer already on scene who, from my understanding, was already on foot in and around the vicinity of the Shootsy building and advised that they could not find anybody at the Shootsy building.
Okay. Officer Phillips, do you see White Rock School on this map?
I do, yes.
Could you put an X on White Rock School?
White Rock School is this elongated building right here, so I'll draw a large X through it.
Okay. And you said the roadway running parallel to White Rock to the north is Baxter?
Correct.
Okay. And Baxter is the road closest to the river. There's no other roads that run along the river there. Just like a walking path or something, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
What is wrong with this dude, man? I like how they're keeping the camera on him too. So we get to see exactly, like he's experiencing every level pretty much.
Another officer's
To a
out on
mental
foot.
breakdown.
What do you do?
At this point, the officer came over the radio and stated he could not find anybody in the vicinity. I was listening and monitoring the radio, and at some point, what I thought was a reserve officer came over and said that they were speaking with a couple of subjects potentially involved. So at that time, I got on the radio and said I was going to attempt to meet with the caller, because I didn't exactly know who this reserve officer was speaking to, how many subjects were involved, if they were actually involved or just a witness to the situation. All of that information was completely unbeknownst to me, so I decided I should probably go meet with a reserve officer and figure out who these subjects are and what the involvement was.
This reserve officer was working as part of the parade, is that right?
He was in the vicinity right at Sergeant Dave Warner's location.